You're still watching Daybreak here on Arise News, and it's time for a press preview. A first look at what's at the front pages. As they arrive, we'll take a look at this day newspaper. It says, finally, PDP ditches zoning, throws presidential ticket open. Some riders to that story. Atiku, Saraki, Tambuwal, Bafarawa, others in joyous mood, while Enugu governor unhappy. Fayose withdraws from committee to join presidential race. And just below that, 2023 election, INEC warns parties against disobedience to election guidelines. You can read more on that on page 50. More headlines on the front page of this day this morning. Once again, terrorists strike Kaduna, attack military camp, kill 15 soldiers and 3 civilians. El Rufai says, nation at crossroads, we must get leadership right in 2023. Meanwhile, Tinubu donates 50 million naira, saying attack on one is attack on all. Above the nameplate of this day this morning, worsening insecurity. Again, Senate asked President Buhari to declare war on terrorists.
The Punch newspaper is next. Presidency. People's Democratic Party panel dumps zoning, fears not voting strength. Nigeria bleeds, Tinubu laments during Kaduna visit. That's the chieftain in the APC. Now 7 train workers missing, losses hit 80 million naira, 163 passengers unreachable. That's according to the Nigerian Railway Corporation. There's more. House of Representatives members meet service chiefs, seek support against terrorists. And unemployment looms as truckers lament 50% drop in cargoes.
All right, well, Tribune has captured what Ken and Nkechi said. Let's just look at the top mast. Political parties must conduct democratic primaries. INEC warns, says, reminds them on deadline for conduct of exercise. They also have the story on the attack, but just below that Nigerian Tribune logo, we have Kerry rally support of Nupeng, Naruto, others to tackle crude oil theft. It can be found in page 7. And then West Africa, just below the picture there, showing Makinde, Saraki, Hayatuddin, and the rest of Bua. West Africa faces worst food crisis, 27 million people suffering from hunger. 11 international organizations are saying this, with 2 riders. Another 11 million may be pushed into hunger in the next 3 months. Ukraine inflation hunger loom in Africa. Ex-envoy warns. You can find that on page 2 and 21. All right, let's go to another paper.
The Nation's newspaper this morning, also leading with the opposition party, says 2023 presidential tickets, PDP to jetson zoning. Autumn-led 37-man panel recommends open race. Wike says, I'm best to take power for the party. Saraki's pro-consensus group meets Makinde. More headlines of the Nation's newspaper. Terrorists attack military base in Kaduna. And the leading photo here has Asiwaju Tinubu visiting Kaduna State Governor Nasir El Rufai, as both seek stiffer actions against bandits and terrorists. More headlines. NNPC seeks joint battle against crude oil theft. And above the nameplate of the Nation this morning, NIN SIM linkage, angry subscribers besiege enrollment centers.
The international papers, a quick look at the Daily Express. 2,921 council fat cats paid more than £100,000.
All right. Okay, I wanted to deal more with the Punch, one national paper, and then we can, PDP panel, oh well. All right, we go now to Emmanuel Bello for the press preview. Emmanuel Bello, glad to have you join us this morning. This story is making headlines even this day, leads with it. Finally, PDP ditches zoning, throws presidential ticket open. What does this mean for the PDP party?
Well, it means a lot, and they're capturing using the word finally, because yes, it's a journey that got us here last night with PDP leadership, the leadership coming together and deciding on what to do about zoning. It was always going to be the biggest issue. It's still an issue. I don't think this has capped it up for them already. I think those agitations are still going to be there. Even the story, the Disney story is already capturing the sharp division among stakeholders on that. While it says that this policy favors the likes of Tiku, Tambuwal, essentially northern stakeholders in the party. Their southern counterpart might not really like it, because they've been saying that, look, in a multi-cultural country like ours, with all the various aspects in terms of demography, divisions and all that, zoning is the best thing. If you don't zone to a particular people, and actually to some extent even microzone it further, it's difficult for some people to actually get this. Like one paper is suggesting, this decision is anchored on the fear of the voting strength of the North. And that is one thing that some politicians can come to grips with, like, is the North always going to determine in our democratic setting why power must shift to a particular place? Because essentially, the open zoning is taken into, is actually not one that people like the likes of Wike were calling for. They wanted a clear-cut zoning system where it says, look, power should shift to this part of the country. And it's keeping with the national mood when a lot of people say, look, the North has experienced or has held on to power for quite a while. So it's almost unimaginable that a party is thinking of zoning its presidency to the North, and they would prefer that a clear-cut statement on zoning to the South should be the case. I think that's what the APC is planning to do, to be very clear about where its zoning power to. But PDP is trying to, and there are fans of this system too. There are people who think that this is a good one. Open it up. There are people who are, the anti-zoning people who say that zoning is mediocrity. Zoning actually promotes mediocrity, promotes a lack of, just bringing any kind of person just because it's been zoned to a place. So where this kind of arguments, this system now is feeding straight into that and saying, look, we have serious problems. Let's open this up. Let's get the best to become the president of this country, irrespective of where they're coming from. PDP is latching into that. If this is going to resonate with the general public, is what we are supposed to monitor in the next few days or months ahead.
Definitely, and we expect more responses to this decision from the PDP, definitely from most, if not all, of the southern aspirants of the party. Now, still on the 2023 election, INEC is warning parties against disobedience of the election guidelines. It's also telling parties to adhere to that June 3rd primaries deadline. Now, some parties like the PDP have started to commence processes of their primaries. Meanwhile, the APC seems not to have started anything yet.
The APC just had its convention, and probably that's, I'm not speaking for the party, but maybe that has slowed it down. But the big story here is INEC is saying that, look, we're sticking to our timetable, and that warning politicians to say, look, nobody is going to be giving any form of waivers. So the parties should be able to get ready, and in a matter of days, I think it starts in this month, and the deadline is there. Parties should get ready to begin to do their primaries and actually give us a sense of who are the people that are going to, be the flag bearer of their parties. I can assure you that is exciting the system already, with a lot of politicians, especially the political parties, running helter-skelter, wondering what to do. At the state level, it's almost, it's always a big game of its own. With incumbent governors not knowing, or for some of them not knowing who will take over from there and all of that, and trying to see what they can do with the process. So that is going on, but INEC not looking into all of that and saying, look, we have to stick to the timetable. It's a good one from INEC, and they have to stick to this. A situation where parties will come with all sorts of excuses. They should be on ground to be able to say, okay, we can do these primaries now, and actually showcase our contenders and our flag bearers so that the contest, we all know where the contest is heading.
Emmanuel, in 2023, there won't be a contest if the nation is not safe. The Punch newspaper is saying that Nigeria bleeds, Tinubu laments during Kaduna visit. There's yet another attack in that northwestern state, and we're hearing that at least 15 military personnel have been killed. The chieftains also donated some money like he did in Niger State. Emmanuel, over the weekend we heard from the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He said something. He said that God hasn't spoken to him about an election in 2023. He's not sure if there will be one. With the way things are going in Kaduna State and then spreading to other states, are we going to have an election?
Well, you see, but the other thing that he said beyond God talking to him is the fact that he thinks that the politicians are more interested in winning elections in 2023 than what is on ground now. And I totally agree that that's what should be exciting everyone. That's what should be troubling everyone. That's what we should be worried about, the security of lives and property. But of course, politics, like life itself, must go on. And so people, those politicians are just doing their thing. But yes, it's worrisome what's going on. And it's almost like a surrender on the part of, apart from what President Obasanjo said recently, that this government is overwhelmed. When you begin to see attacks like the one that we're reporting now that happened in Beningwari in Kaduna State, you begin to wonder if, yes, there's no, at this point, it's not a case of a surrender. And for those of us, you and I, who are, who have this, what looks like some form of confidence, even if you live in an area where you have a police barracks or you have soldiers around, you get the sense that you are safe. But stories like this tend to suggest that, look, that doesn't even guarantee any of safety, of security that you have begins to blow away. You begin to see how vulnerable you are, and that while we're talking about when this thing sounds very far off, but that it can just happen to anyone and anyone, these stakeholders have all continued, no one and safe. So you can understand when the man of God, the pastor, say that, look, he wonders if the year 2023 is even going to happen. That's very serious. That's a very serious thing to say. Beyond the visions he sees and beyond the metaphysical aspect of it, you and I can actually almost say the same thing, considering the fact that if this is not checked, if there's no security in the land, how can people actually even go out and vote in the first place? Where is this heading to? When you have situations where you begin to ask yourself, what happens to you and I that are not even within near such formation? So it's stories like this, beyond even prophecies, it's stories like this that suggest that, look, the land is sick, and that what Tinubu said, it's very apt, that the land is bleeding. That's the right word to use, and like the stories are carrying, it's terrible, and one that should worry us. But of course, politicians are worried about power.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello. 2023 is around the corner. We'll see what our election holds or not, but people will want the election to hold.